Hey guys, it's Sim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw. As far as tonight's Monday Night Raw does go, boy, did this show fly by without having to do any commercial breaks, without having to wait for any of the random segments and stuff that we usually get to fill the breaks and whatnot. Like, this show is over. It's a 2.5 hour show. This show is over in like an hour and a half max if you started right at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, depending on where you live, whatever. So, yeah, this show flew by. Like, we get to the main event, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, when Punk came out to confront Gunther, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Why is Punk coming out so early? And then I look down at the thing, and it says there's 20 minutes left in the show, and I'm like, oh, okay. That's an interesting one. But with that, I'm not here alone again, ladies and gentlemen. No. Luke, what's going on?
I hope everybody's doing well. Raw did go by quick. It was like 8:20, 8:30. I can't remember. It was 8:20 already, my time, or your time as well. And I was like, geez, this is already the main event. Like, this, without commercials, it's quick.
Yeah, so you must have been a little more behind than I was, because I was a couple minutes behind because I started at like 7:05 or something like that Central Time. And at 8:30, I had like maybe 5 minutes left in the show. So yeah, it flew by. And it's like, now I get why people wait till it's over and then watch Raw. There's a lot of people that do that. They will wait till it's over, and then like 5 minutes later, Netflix has already got it up with no commercials and everything, and then they can scoot by it really quickly. So, hey, whatever works. But that's what happens. That's what happens when it's a pre-tape show. And we've learned that with SmackDown, because whenever there is a pre-taped SmackDown, Netflix just puts it up like they did tonight with Raw as like just an episode of TV. And so what happens is, though, with that is, if you're watching SmackDown on Netflix, then you get it done in like half the time, and everybody else watching on the USA Network is still watching the show. So yeah, very, very funny thing there. That's why it was like 3 weeks ago, maybe, there was a taped SmackDown, and I was like, all right, we're gonna go live, but I was thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go live. Oh wait, no, not everyone's finished SmackDown yet. I gotta wait another 20-30 minutes. But I thought it was an all right show.
And SmackDown this week is supposed to be pre-taped as well, right?
Yes, it is. So tonight's SmackDown was filmed last Friday. Here's the weirdest part of it all. So last week's SmackDown, well, tonight's Raw was filmed last Friday. Last week's SmackDown was a live show. But this week's SmackDown was actually filmed before last week's SmackDown, last Monday night. Very weird. I don't know why they didn't just film Raw and then SmackDown and SmackDown on Friday. Like Raw, 2 Raws on last Monday, 2 SmackDowns last Friday. I don't get it. I think it was because they filmed the SmackDown stuff before Raw. So you're not going to film the next week's Raw before you film the current week's Raw. Something like that. It was all kinds of weird and jumbled up and not making much sense, but they got through it. And better off that they got through it, because now everyone gets the week off for Christmas. No one's got to be flying anywhere for Christmas. Unlike, AEW's got everything filmed up. AEW's making people work New Year's or New Year's Eve or something like that. AEW crew's got to work New Year's Eve in like Omaha, Nebraska.
I can't remember who said. I think it was Brian Alvarez that said this. I don't know if you saw it or not, but I think Brian Alvarez was saying that he was talking about like Tony Khan, basically saying that Tony Khan's only booking AEW for himself, and he's not thinking about the fans. Like he said, he'll go as long as he wants, and he doesn't care if fans have to like catch the train home or if they catch a flight back home.
Okay, so yes, Brian did basically say that. What Brian basically said was, he was like, I can't remember what it was. I think he talked to somebody that was at the Manchester show, and that show went super long because they filmed a lot of stuff on that night. And they were like, yeah, fans needed to leave because like the last train was coming and the show was still going. Basically, so what Brian Alvarez said, and I think Dave Meltzer, him and Dave were talking about this over the weekend. What happened was, the building that they were in Manchester, England, has a curfew. if you go past the curfew, you have to pay a penalty. And basically, Tony was like, we're going to go as long as I want, and I'll pay whatever fines and penalties that accrues or whatever the word is. And like people were like, come on, let's wrap this. And apparently people there were saying that they wanted it wrapped up because they needed to go or they were going to miss the last train and transportation was not going to be available. It was a whole thing. And Money Mark Tony Khan was just like, I got enough money to pay them off. They give me a fine for staying too late. It's okay. So that's basically what it was.
That's insane. I mean, honestly, that's him saying that he doesn't care about the fans.
Well,
He just wants to, like, I'll pay the.
I wouldn't go that far in saying he doesn't care about the fans. Granted, you should think about that kind of stuff, but it's more of just like, oh, he wants to just have some fun and film a bunch of stuff in one night, even though, well, no, because then they went and filmed at Hammerstein this past weekend. So I'm trying to think what all they were filming. They just filmed the that week's Dynamite, the 3-hour Dynamite. Then they did a 1-hour Collision. And then I know over the weekend, they went to the Hammerstein Ballroom and filmed this week's stuff for Collision and Dynamite. So I think AEW is all pre-taped this week as well. But, it wasn't pre-taped. I mean, go for it.
Never mind.
What I was going to say is, what wasn't pre-taped? A AAA show over the weekend. Holy shit, was that a good show? Did you see any of it, clips or anything?
No, I haven't seen anything.
Okay, it's all up on WWE's YouTube.
I heard that Dominic Mysterio had a shoulder injury, though.
Yeah, so the show was great. Like, if you got, what is it, like a 2-hour show maybe a little bit longer, you got the time to just throw it on. This was a fantastic show. This was better than anything CMLL did over the weekend, better than Collision, and it was probably the best show of the week last week. Like, this AAA show from 5 minutes, like, it was a travesty that they only gave Ethan Page and El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. 5 minutes. Like, that match was like 5-6 minutes, and they restarted it and it went 12 seconds. But that match was really good. Those two always work well together. There was a triple threat match, I want to say it was, with I always forget who the third guy is. It was Javon Evans, Jack Cartwheel, and I can't remember who the other guy was. Crap. But that was a really fun match where it's like I wouldn't say botched some stuff, but like they rushed some moves that just looked off. But that was really good. Then there was a 6-woman tag where Natty pinned, I think it was Lady Flamer, who is the champion. So Natty might be getting a title shot. We had so going into the show, we had the Wyatts versus basically the Clowns. I don't know what their actual like team name is. And I'm going, oh my God, this match is going to be horrendous. But the way they did it, where they filmed a bunch of stuff backstage in like a circus setting, not bad at all. Laredo Kid, thank you since Saturday. It was Laredo Kid, Jack Cartwheel, and Javon Evans. That match was so good. I just felt like they needed to slow down a little bit because they rushed some moves that just didn't look super smooth. But yeah, the Wyatt's match was better than expected. Then the big shocker of shockers, we got Vikingos turned heel. And he took on Dragon Lee, and he is now teamed up with Dorian Roldan and the giant Omos. And Omos gave freaking Dragon Lee a last ride that made Dragon Lee look like a child. He was so much smaller than Omos. Like, holy crap. Muscle Man, you're wrong. It's the creator of, not the creator, but the guy in charge of the Battlefield games, not Call of Duty. Yeah,
I saw that today, actually.
Yeah. What's his name? I can get you his name. Hold on. It was, I don't want to say it wrong. Out of respect, it was Vince Zampella. He started Infinity Ward, the game studio, and they were the ones responsible for all the Battlefield games through EA. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was a car accident, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was a single car accident, and both people died in the accident, unfortunately. But going back to the AAA show really fast. So, the Vikingo Dragon Lee match was good until the end, where we saw Dorian Roldan's got a new heel group. It's Vikingo and Omos. So at least they're doing something with Omos. And then the main event was really, really good. We even saw Penta get involved, which means Penta's not too far off from getting cleared. They've basically now got 2 challengers built up for Dominic Mysterio, but unfortunately, Dom was injured. So what happened was Dom was going for the 3 amigos, and we know Dom changed it up for himself. He doesn't do just the 3 suplexes. His third is always a brain buster. And so he had his dad up for that brain buster, and he was holding him up, and he walked around for a second, and Ray counters it, drops down, and hits a DDT. Well, as Ray hits the DDT, Dominic falls on his shoulder. If you watch the match, Dom's arm's kind of just dangling for the rest of this match. He does maybe one offensive spot, does a couple, like takes a couple of moves, and then that's about it. So we don't know any other, I guess you could say, severity of the injury. We don't know the severity of the injury, how long he may be out of action, if he's going to need surgery or whatnot. So with WWE not being on the road this week, it means that he wasn't just going to go to Raw and get checked out. He's got to either wait till next week or go see a doctor wherever he lives. So very, very unfortunate. And then just looking up something really fast. Messi says, isn't Infinity Ward a COD company? I thought, hold on. Okay, so what I read earlier was wrong. It is Call of Duty. Because I read something from, I can't remember what outlet it is now, that said Battlefield. So I'm wrong. I apologize for that. It was Call of Duty.
So it was Call of Duty.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I was about to say.
They were a Call of Duty studio. I apologize. That's my fault. I read something on Twitter that said it was Battlefield. Let me see if I can find that tweet really fast. I think I saved it to send somebody. It was. No, I guess I didn't save that tweet anymore. But yeah, rest in peace to Vince Zampella, who was a founder of Infinity Ward. So, yeah, hopefully Dom's not like injured. And maybe he just stayed out of the ring for a few weeks and he's good to go. But we'll know more probably later this week. With all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out over on YouTube. You can help us out over there by hitting the subscribe button. There, you know we post new videos when we go live and when we post to the community tab. You can also hit the join button to become a channel member. As a channel member, you get a badge next to your name, emotes, and emojis that you can use in the live chat, and you get access to all of our graphics packages. And finally, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. One last thing, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, and you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Maybe you want to get, what's her name? Sabrina Carpenter in Fortnite, which is supposed to drop tonight, I believe, what I saw online. And when you do, go to the store.
Really?
Yes. Sabrina Carpenter, Christmas themed, where she's wearing like a red sequin dress and a Santa hat. Go over there, get that in the store. Maybe you want Kim Kardashian that just recently dropped in Fortnite. Use our code at checkout or just in the Fortnite shop. PW Unlimited. That's PWUNLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. With that, we got some bit donations. We got super chats. We got Muscle Man over on Twitch with the bit donation. Thank you for that. He says, do you think wrestling is starting to become very bland? recently with fans complaining about the recent WWE and AEW booking. And also, what should WWE do with Gunther for the rest of the year? As far as the rest of the year does go, there's one more show for WWE. So it's not really rest of the year. But what they should do with Gunther.
I mean, maybe I'm sure they probably meant.
Go for it.
I think they meant like. Sorry, I think they meant like maybe going in 2026, maybe.
Right, like rest of the year, maybe. A lot of people call WWE.
I don't know.
I know for WWE fans, when they say rest of the year, a lot of times they're talking till Mania. Like a lot of wrestling fans say, like, WWE's year ends at Mania. But what I think, and Luke and I actually were talking about this before we went on the air, what do you do with Gunther next? I think you build up Gunther for the Rumble. Maybe on that January 5th show, or even next week, he finally says, I'm entering the Rumble. And you have Gunther not win the Rumble, but run roughshot in the Rumble. I think Gunther should eliminate a bunch of people. I think Gunther should be very dominant in the Rumble, and then get eliminated by somebody like an AJ Styles. And we don't know when AJ is going to have his last match. AJ keeps saying, I'm done in 2026. Does that mean early 2026, middle of 2026, late 2026? We don't know. What I think they should do is build up AJ and Gunther. Then they've already started it to whenever AJ's ready to retire, whether that's WrestleMania or somewhere else, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, I don't know. But I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to Gunther beating AJ at WrestleMania in AJ's last match. What do you think they should do with Gunther?
I don't. I actually don't know.
Yeah. I think that would be a good one, though. You build them up for AJ, and then maybe you do Gunther and Brock at SummerSlam. We know that before all the Vince stuff happened and Brock had to go away, the plan was Brock and Gunther at Mania. So we also have a super chat here from Jack Dawson. Really do appreciate that one. He says, happy holidays to you, Tim and Luke. Good to have you back. With Hendry and Trick called up towards the main, what plans do you see them doing to start 2026? So we know Trick Williams has been called up. Essentially, Javon Evans has been called up. We don't know for sure if Joe Hendrys is a call up. No one has reported that, and they haven't stated it. And now we're going to get into spoiler territory here for just a moment. They haven't stated it on any taped show that Joe Hendry's called up. The new thing they're going to start doing, it seems like, is when you're called up, you are effectively now becoming a free agent, and you can then, get signed by either Raw or SmackDown. And so, as we saw tonight on Raw with Javon Evans, essentially they said he's becoming a free agent, and we don't know where he's going to sign. I think that's going to be Raw. With Trick Williams, and spoiler alert, they do state on this week's SmackDown that was filmed last week, Trick is a free agent, and he's listening to offers, I guess you would say, from both Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. So I think he goes to SmackDown, that way he could stay with his fiance, Lash Legend, and Javon goes to Raw. Now, again, spoiler alert, just because Joe Hendry worked last week's SmackDown tapings, I don't know if that's effectively him being called up or not. That we haven't heard. What do you think as far as like Trick, for instance? So I know we were talking about this earlier as well. What do you think they could do with Trick early on, at least in his time in the main roster going forward?
Did you say like Trick going up to the main roster? Like, what do you think they do with him?
Yeah, exactly.
What if they have him win the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal?
I wouldn't be against it. That's actually not a bad idea at all. I mean, that's all the way at Mania week. But
well, maybe so. Like they do what if they do this like for a few weeks? They have him be like, all right, like which show is which brand is Trick Williams going to sign with? He signs with SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just has a few matches here and there. Maybe they have him start out like fighting like a bunch of like local wrestlers. Maybe just get him like quick wins off of those guys. Then maybe have him feud with like someone like Ilya Dragunov or something.
Not a bad idea. I mean, we've seen
And then they
him
have,
and we've seen matches with him and Dragunov in NXT that were really good. Like they work well together.
yeah. So like maybe they have him feud with Dragunov, then have him win the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
I wouldn't be against it. That'd be a good. Here's a problem with that though. Who's the last guy to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal that it actually benefited and they did something with him? You know what I mean? Like we see a lot of guys win it and then just it's forgotten in 2 weeks.
I mean, they tried doing something with Cesaro when he won it.
That was the first
They
one.
made him a Paul Heyman guy, but then they kind of died out a little bit.
Well, that kind of just proves the point there is, yeah, they tried to do something with somebody the first one. Other than that, I'm looking at the list of winners right now.
I mean, Bobby Lashley, the only reason why he won it because he didn't have a WrestleMania match because
Right.
he was supposed to face Bray Wyatt, I'm pretty sure, but then Bray
Yes.
got sick,
Yes.
and then they're like, all right, we'll just put you in the Battle Royal. Then they had him win it.
So here's the list of Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winners. The first one was Cesaro in 2014. Then the Big Show won in 2015. Baron Corbin won in 2016. Mojo Rawley won in 2017. Matt Hardy won in 2018. Braun Strowman won in 2019. And that was all just comedy and a deal with SNL because he lastly eliminated Colin Jost. Then in 20...
Yeah, that was... I remember that. They had him, like, I think it was Colin Jost. They were like, is this stuff even real?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people were shocked by that.
And then he destroyed their car.
Yeah.
And then they turned that into a toy. Braun Strowman with a car that you can break.
Yeah. No, I remember when I was in high school when they did all that, and they had him like
hold on. You're cutting in and out.
Because normally you're
hold on. You're cutting in and out. Reset real fast. Like just come out and come back in.
Give me it.
And Luke come back in really fast. He was gonna get an electronic.
There now.
Yep,
Hello?
you're good.
Hello?
You're good. It got robotic.
No.
It got like robotic
So, like,
for a
I remember.
second. You're good. Go.
No, because like I remember like listening to that, and they were like, I was like, wait, you're not supposed to. They're not supposed to say this is fake. Like, because that's like the number one rule. Like in all pro wrestling, like, don't say it's fake. Don't say it's fake.
Yep. So,
like, 'cause I remember I was listening to like your live stream about it. I think you were with Nick or something.
Probably.
And yeah, you were like, you basically said the exact same thing. You're like, yeah, they're not supposed to say it's fake.
So they didn't do one in 2020 because of COVID. In 2021, Jey Uso won it. I don't even remember that.
Because, well, yeah, because like they had nothing for Jay at Mania because they were doing Roman versus Daniel Bryan versus Edge. So like, they're like, all right, we'll just put Jay in the Rumble and have him win it.
And then in 2022, can you tell me who won 2022? That's WrestleMania 38, Dallas. You'll never guess.
Don't tell me. Oh, Madcap Moss.
How the hell did you remember that?
I had to think.
Man, that's nuts. Then the next year in LA, it was Bobby Lashley. Then for WrestleMania 40, 2024, it was Bronson Reed. And last year, Carmelo Hayes. And they did nothing with Carmelo Hayes coming off of that. Like,
until now.
Absolutely nothing for a year and a half.
Well, they had him just do that thing with the Miz for like the longest time.
But that had nothing to do with, that was not being elevated by winning the Battle Royal. That was just, we got an idea for him and the Miz. And that was a year later. That was not even right after or anything. That was 2025. Well, no, not a year later. I'm stupid. He won this year's 2025. That was like 4 months later. I'm dumb. I'm thinking wrong. I switched up him and Bronson Reed by accident. Anyways, yeah. No, I don't even, that didn't even have, like I was saying, that wasn't even like okay, he won the Battle Royal. Now we're going to pair him with the Miz to give him a push. And like Miz latching on to him because he's getting a put. No. It was just they just randomly did something. Didn't really work. We'll see. Yes, and Saturday. That was really cool. He said Vikingo was wearing a Grinch mask for his entrance. Yeah, I like that. When Vikingo came out at the AAA show to face Dragon Lee, he was wearing like a Grinch-inspired mask. Super cool. But we got a Monday Night Raw to talk about. Monday Night Raw.
We were talking for like a while. Holy cow.
We're good. We're good. We're talking the news and all the things going on. And
I mean, it's only 9:30. It's only 9:30 our time, so we got all the time in the world.
Exactly. What else was going on was a Monday Night Raw filmed last Friday. So the announcers were Michael Cole, Corey Graves. Because, well, Joe Test and Wade Barrett didn't go to SmackDown last week. So CM Punk, Rey Mysterio were shown entering the building. Judgment Day, Javon Evans, Gunther, and The Vision. Cole said that Evans was a soon-to-be free agent. We then see Paul Heyman approach Austin Theory and asked him what he was doing. Theory said that he wore the mask because he wanted people to feel his actions and not base their reaction on, oh, that's Austin Theory. It's, oh, wow, this guy is doing this. Not Austin Theory is doing this. Somebody is doing this, basically. He said that he's made some mistakes in his past and didn't want what he's doing now to hurt that, I guess you'd say. He said he got comfortable before getting injured. He appreciated the vision, how they didn't wait around and just took what they wanted. Theory said that that's what he wants, and he wants to take this opportunity to help them out. Heyman was very skeptical, but intrigued. And so it was supposed to be CM Punk and Rey Mysterio against Bronson Reed and Logan Paul. But they switched it up to Austin Theory because, well, you know why? You know why it couldn't have been Logan, Luke?
Why?
Because on Friday, Logan was in Miami in his brother's corner watching his brother get knocked out by Anthony Joshua. Yep, Logan wasn't even at the tapings because he was already scheduled to be with his brother for his boxing match. So it's like they got out of it. I don't know if maybe they announced it before realizing, or it was always going to be the storyline of they substitute Austin Theory in. I don't know. So Rhea Ripley asked Io Sky to stay in the back for her match tonight. She wanted to take on Asuka all by herself, even though she knew that Kairi was probably going to be out there as well. So at this point, it's probably when most people realized, oh man, we got no commercials. This show's going to fly by. Because it literally just, where a commercial's supposed to be, you can really see the cut, boom. So what I did, skip entrances. I'm just like, screw this. I'm going to get through this show even faster. Rhea starts coming down to the ring. Forward 10, forward 10, forward 10. So I just skipped all these entrances. So Asuka had control early on, thanks to Kairi Sane causing a little bit of a distraction.
You were missing a little bit of stuff. Sorry to cut you off, but like you were missing a little bit of stuff, like when you were skipping the entrances.
Yeah, apparently.
I remind you of something.
Apparently, I missed a whole segment with what, Javon Evans and Pierce.
Yeah,
I skipped the whole segment by accident.
And then like, yeah, we'll get to the stuff I want to say like when we get to that. But
gotcha. But Asuka had the advantage early on due to Kairi Sane. They acted as if they were heading to a break as usual. You know, they filmed the show like it has commercial breaks. But then they didn't get commercial breaks because there are still some markets in the world that have Raw on regular TV and not Netflix. So you got to film it like there's commercial breaks. So Ripley tried mounting a comeback, but was tripped by the outside by Sane. Ripley did mount a comeback anyways and fended off a flurry of offense by Asuka as we go to, well, quote unquote, another break. Ripley applied a standing clover leaf, but Asuka countered into a German suplex and a sliding kick for a 2. Asuka then blocked a Razor's Edge attempt and later hit a German suplex on the apron. Asuka came back off the top, but Ripley hit her with a mid-air thrust kick. She followed this up with a cannonball off the apron. Ripley then went to the top, but was tripped up once again by Kairi Sane. So Io would run out. She was coming down and attacked Kairi. Sky jumped on the apron to yell at the referee for allowing Sane to interfere, but Sane used the opportunity to drop on the apron. Asuka then uses distraction to catch Ripley in a cradle and pin her 1, 2, 3. So, yeah. Asuka does pick up the win. Michael Cole did mention Asuka was winless before this in her last 8 singles matches. So, an interesting match. I thought they worked very well together, as we've seen in the past. What did you think of the match?
I mean, it was a good starter. I do think it's probably gonna. Here's what I think will happen. Actually, I don't know if this will be like the do they still call like the first Raw of the year, like day one?
No, they're calling it the Netflix 1 year anniversary.
So do you think they do Io and Rhea versus the Kabuki Warriors for the tag titles on that episode of Raw?
Yes, they actually announced that
For the tag titles?
They announced that last week.
I think Ripley and Io are going to win.
I think they should as well. I think they should win the titles and then maybe get challenged. Go for it.
I think they'll probably win the titles, maybe get challenged again at the Rumble, and then maybe Kabuki Warriors wins the titles back. I don't know.
No, I wouldn't go that route. Like the Kabuki Warriors, I think are great as champions. Asuka's just freaking phenomenal. But no, no, you can't do that at the Rumble. Because I was gonna say do a multi-team tag match, but not at the Rumble because you need as many women for that Rumble as possible. Honestly, I don't think they defend the titles at the Rumble and you throw them all in the Rumble. And then you do something afterwards. But I do think there's a very good chance that Io and Rhea beat the Kabuki Warriors on January 5th for the tag titles.
Yeah.
So going backstage, we got Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. They seem skeptical about Austin Theory. Heyman said that they were both much better off today than they were months ago. And that was all thanks to him. It's all happened because of the Vision. He did not really say much more on that. He was selective on who he chose for this. He had a vision for Theory. Tonight, it would be Theory and Reed against Punk and Mysterio. Either Theory carried out their vision, or the two will carry him out, basically. So, yeah, it worked out for Austin Theory in the end. But we've known since like COVID, when Paul Heyman was named one of the executive director guys, he wanted to do something with Austin Theory all the way back then. So
yeah, because he was the Evolve. Austin Theory was the Evolve champion. I'm pretty sure during that time when Paul Heyman was taking over Raw.
Yeah, before he was officially called the NXT, he was the Evolve champion. I think he beat Josh Briggs for the title, maybe.
No, he was already the champion. Josh Briggs. No, it was. I can't remember who it was.
The opposite, maybe then.
He beat. No, they did like a title unification match because somebody was like their mid card champion. I can't remember who he was facing. Maybe it was like JD Drake or something.
I'll get it right here. Hold on.
But Josh Briggs was the one who beat Austin Theory for the belts. And
I had that mixed up.
Josh Briggs, he was the last ever Evolve champion.
So this says Fabian Eichner held the Evolve title. I did not know that. Okay. So Fabian Eichner or Giovanni Vinci, whatever you want to call him, held the title at one point. Then there was a 3-way title, a 3-way match. So who was in that match? It was Austin Theory, Roderick Strong, and who? Let's see. It was. This is not telling me. Thank you, Wikipedia, for being very vague here. Wikipedia is missing a lot of information about the Evolve title. This does not say. It just says that he won the title in December of 2018, and then almost 1 year later, he lost it to Josh Briggs. That's when Josh Briggs still had his long hair, too. But Austin Theory had 12 successful defenses of the title for 329 days. Dang.
Yeah, Josh. Yeah, he was like the last ever Evolve champion. Then Josh
Briggs was.
I guess they evolved Then Evolve, like I guess, it go out of business.
WWE basically purchased the rights.
Yeah, they purchased the rights, and then Josh Briggs eventually just went to NXT, and he
Yep.
was there. It took me a while to like recognize like that was actually like Josh Briggs from Evolve, because he looked so different when he was in Evolve, and he had the long hair.
Same here. I didn't realize that was the same guy for like months. I'm like, I know that name.
Same, like
I'm like, I know that name.
No, because they cut his hair and they like changed his gimmick and everything.
Mm-hmm. Cut his hair and made him a country guy.
And I was just, yeah, when he was like in Evolve, his hair was longer. He was like more serious.
Kind of what he's supposed to be now. Like not quite biker, but kind of biker-ish. Kind of like rough guy, you know, brawler type.
No, because when he had the long hair in Evolve, like I took one look at him. I was like, dude, this is a guy that like WWE could like make into a star in like 5 or 6 years.
I said the same thing with the look he had in Evolve. I'm like, this guy's going to be NXT champion one day. But then they cut his hair and made him bland. Like, I don't know what the hell happened. He went to NXT and they made him their freaking by the books, by the numbers NXT wrestler that doesn't stand out. Especially putting him with the goddamn Virgin.
Hey, wait, who? Brooks Jensen?
Yeah. That was his whole gimmick with Kiana James. He was just trying to get some because he's never got some before. She was leading him on. Well, we call him the Virgin.
I mean, I've been led on before, but I wasn't a virgin. But yeah, switch it.
But in storyline, he had said he's never been with a woman before. That was the thing.
Okay, oh, come on. Like, what are they doing? Like, I remember that storyline. I thought it was just like I can't remember. Like, I remember they were like, I guess, were they like trying to like make him weren't they trying to make her like their like financial advisor, almost trying to save their bar?
Yeah, basically.
Because, yeah, they did the whole thing where like they need some help trying to save the bar, and she helped it. And then I guess Brooke Jensen like had a crush on her.
Yep. Yeah, because her whole gimmick, even still to now, she's a very savvy businesswoman that can get her clients what they want. That's her gimmick.
They have her paired with Julia now, and they're not even doing anything with Julia.
Oh my God, that shit is so bad. Her with Julia is so bad. And I get it. They want her to speak for Julia because like Julia's English is not nowhere near where it needs to be. But yeah,
that's probably what's killing her. That's what's killing her momentum on the main roster. It's like she can't really speak good English, so like that's probably why WWE hasn't really been doing much with her.
You know what's the craziest thing? Speaking of can't speak English, how whenever we see these promos and pre-tapes from Asuka, you know how she does them all in Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Asuka can speak basically perfect English.
But they have her speak Japanese on the main roster.
Because as a heel, cutting the Japanese promo actually works very well. Like the intense Japanese promo for a heel works very well. So it's like, that's the crazy thing. It's like, I've seen Asuka speak English and it's basically right there, like perfect English. I mean, she's been with WWE for what, almost a decade?
Since 2015, I would say.
So it is a decade. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was 15 or 16. You know, that's right.
It might have been actually 2014, maybe, because I think they signed her like months after they signed Hideo Itami.
Well, because I was thinking, how much before Nakamura did she come in? It was, I can tell you right now. Hold on. I
think it was before Nakamura.
Well, I knew
she was already women's champion, I'm pretty sure.
I was just trying to see when. It was. Rumors of her signing started in August of 2015. So it was
so she signed like late 2015.
So it was right
after. It was like late 2015 then.
Yeah, it was right after the first right after the first takeover Brooklyn. They confirmed it with a press conference on September 8th in Tokyo.
And her first main roster match, her first NXT match was Dana Brooke.
Yep.
Because they did the
NXT Takeover Respect.
I feel like her debut was very similar to like when they debuted Hideo Itami. They like, don't you think?
Well, WWE likes to just reuse the same things for similar types of wrestling. Like a lot of international stuff. Like wrestlers will get certain similar things, and yeah, it's a whole thing. They got a quote unquote
No, because
formula.
just think about it though, because like when they debuted Hideo Itami, they introduced him as Kenta, and they're like, from this day forward, I'll be known as Hideo Itami. Then they had the Ascension come out, threaten William Regal, then Hideo Itami just like attacked them both, and that was his like first feud in NXT was against the Ascension.
Yeah, and they did a whole when they signed him, they did a whole like big old press conference thing at a Noah show. And that was like with Asuka. She showed up at NXT Brooklyn, but it said Kana on the screen. But then when she debuted, she was Asuka. And similar to Hideo Itami, Kenta, they did a big press conference, public, contract signing thing with her as well in Japan.
Yep, and then they had Dana Brooke and Emma come out, like threaten, like Asuka, and that was her first feud. Yep. So they had two people like feud with like Hideo Itami and Asuka.
Yeah, because I think what was it? She beat Dana Brooke at Respect, and then the London show. I could have that wrong, but I think it was in a Takeover London. She ended up being Emma.
Yeah.
So yeah, Asuka's been around for a decade now. But yeah, no, like if you watch her YouTube and like stuff like that, you can see she speaks perfect English. Like not even a problem. You know who else speaks perfect English, even though Kevin Dunn always said that her accent was going to hinder her? That's Becky Lynch. Kevin Dunn used to say that Becky Lynch can't cut a promo because her accent was too thick. Like, are you kidding me?
I'm gonna be honest. Like when I first saw her in NXT, like she was. I only viewed her as like someone with Sasha Banks.
Well, that's how she started.
Yeah, she started as like someone with Sasha Banks, and then I guess she won like a number one contenders match to face Sasha Banks for the NXT title, and I was like, really?
Yep.
They didn't do because I was like, to be fair, I was like 12 or 13 during this time, so I didn't really think too much into it. So I was like, it's like really they didn't go with like Charlotte Flair or because I was a big Charlotte Flair fan when I was a kid.
Well, they had already done the Sasha Charlotte stuff for a little bit. That was the thing. They'd already done that.
Then or they could have done like her versus Bayley or something because I liked Bayley a lot as well.
Well, so like Bayley came around right after. Like, Bayley was there, but they weren't pushing her quite yet as like one of the top women.
She was a comedy character for a while.
Ish, yeah, a little bit. So Becky comes down to the ring.
I think the first time this is the first time I saw her in NXT. Like they had her, like it was AJ Lee. She was Divas champion. And I think she came down to NXT to like do like an open challenge, and then Bayley came up and hugged her.
Yep.
And asked if it's like, can I face you for the Divas title? Basically making her look like a child.
Well, that was the whole point.
Like, can I face you? Yeah, she's like, can I face you for the Divas title? And AJ's like, sure.
Yeah. They wanted her to feel how was it said before? Like I've read before, one of the descriptors of Bayley's early character was childlike nature to appeal to children. Basically, it's like see yourself in her, and it worked for a while. It did, and she would slowly get more and more serious, but still have that hugger mentality. So Becky comes down in a fur coat. She said that we would not be getting a celebration for Maxine Dupree because of corrupt referees. And she's the real, still Women's Intercontinental Champion. She said if Petty Pierce ain't going to do anything about it, she knew some very powerful people that would. She had the most powerful lawyers in the country. You know who's got a powerful lawyer? Goddamn Andrade. Andrade.
Oh yeah, I saw this picture. I don't know. So I don't know. I'm thinking of. Oh yeah, are they doing the thing with Taurus where they're making him like a lawyer or something on AEW television? I don't watch AEW that much, but
you talk about the Mortos. He is a real lawyer. Like in real life, he's a lawyer.
Mortos, yeah, I think Roosh I think the meme was like Roosh introduced Andrade to a powerful lawyer, and it was Morse Toros.
Yeah, the Beast Mordos is a real lawyer.
Yeah, and people are making memes.
Yeah.
Like, it's Beast Mordos. That was the lawyer.
Yeah. So yeah, apparently
Was it him?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't read the report yet, but apparently Roosh got Andrade a lawyer that may have gotten his 1 year non-compete lifted, because when you look at it, he showed up for New Japan. He showed up at Hog Wrestling, and Tony Khan basically without saying it, said Andrade's coming back soon. So yeah, Andrade may be free and clear of WWE. But Becky said she's got the most powerful lawyers in the country. The bigwigs in Netflix advised her to go to miserable Michigan and take matters into her own hands because she's the greatest of all time. And before she could say anything about, Sports Illustrated and all that, Maxine would interrupt. She agreed with Sports Illustrated that Becky might be and probably is the greatest of all time, but she's just a rookie. And she beat the greatest of all time, which is not something rookies should be doing. Dupree then bragged about beating Becky 3 times. Go for it.
Hold on.
Go for it.
Do you think Becky is the greatest WWE female wrestler of all time? If we're like, who do you think it is?
So that question is very loaded. What do you consider greatest? Are you looking at in-ring, promos, business,
everything,
changing the company? I think the greatest and most important female of all time in WWE is Trish Stratus. Her and Lita kind of like right there together. That's my opinion.
I'd say it's like both. I'd say it's like both of them. They both of them really like changed the game and everything.
Exactly. But when you're talking
about, I will say they don't have as many accomplishments as like women like a Charlotte Flair or like a Becky Lynch. But they did a lot to change the game.
And that's where I was getting at next. When you look at them compared to the accolades, quote unquote, of a Charlotte or a Becky or a Sasha Banks or whatever, yeah, WWE gave them more. But that was in a time where women were getting more. Trish and Lita, yes, they're both, 6-time women's champions, but that was when the women were not working every week, didn't have matches on every show, weren't on every pay-per-view, and it was far and few between when they were getting long, good, respectable title matches. So it's like, for what they did to change the perception of female wrestling in WWE, I would say like they're tied at the top. But when you want to talk about just like probably who's the best in-ring female of all time, consistent. Now, the one thing you could say about Becky Lynch that you can't say about any other women's wrestler ever is there's never been another female that was the number one most popular wrestler in the world in any company, despite gender. And in 2019, coming off of WrestleMania 35, Becky was the most popular professional wrestler in the world, male or woman, man or woman in any country. That's the one big thing with Becky. No other female can say that.
Yeah, I agree.
And so that's why you got to put Becky up there, maybe the number 3 or 2 if you slot Trish and Lita as number 1 together.
I'd probably put Trish at 1, Lita 2, and then Becky 3.
Yeah, me too. I've seen people try to
say.
Would
you put Charlotte? Who'd you put at 4 or 5? Did you put Charlotte at 4?
Probably Charlotte at 4. I don't know who would go 5. That's a tough one, actually. That's very tough. I don't think it's Bayley. Maybe Bayley. Maybe. I know someone would probably put Mercedes.
No, I would not put. I wouldn't put Mercedes.
I wouldn't either, but some would. But
Rhea?
Not yet. No.
What about Asuka? Because
Asuka's the best bell-to-bell female wrestler ever. I think Asuka, from an in-ring standpoint, bell-to-bell working a match, I don't think there's ever been a female better than Asuka to work a match bell-to-bell. I think she's the greatest in-ring competitor.
I'd put her at 5, honestly.
Asuka, a good chance, yeah probably. Like I said, I think Asuka's the best female wrestler, like bell-to-bell wrestler of all time.
Because she had that legendary, undefeated streak for like the longest time. Then she lost it to Charlotte, which I know at the time, I think she kind of had to, honestly.
I mean, eventually,
Because
yeah.
you gotta understand during that time, because like Carmelo had the briefcase and they had to have her cash in.
What did I say earlier about WWE liking to do the same thing with similar wrestlers, like Japanese wrestlers and stuff? Think about it. 2018, what happened?
Nakamura won the Royal Rumble.
And then lost to AJ at Mania in a world title match. Asuka won the Royal Rumble, lost to Charlotte at Mania in a world title match. They did the same thing with both of them.
I don't know what it was with Vince. So like Vince apparently, like, I just don't know if he didn't like Nakamura or he just didn't like Asuka.
Oh no, I've always heard that Vince thought Asuka was great. I had heard that before.
What was it with Nakamura then? Because
I don't know.
Like, I feel like he just viewed Nakamura. Maybe it was his English or something.
Maybe. I don't know. That's always been a weird one.
Like, there's another one with Andrade, because like that when Andrade got called up during that time, I was like scared. I was like, Vince is gonna look at him and think this guy doesn't speak English.
I mean, he speaks good English, but it's like, yeah, not great English, but Andrade speaks pretty good English.
Because I remember at first, like when he had that match against AJ, when he got called up, like there was that rumor that Vince was actually really impressed with Andrade.
Yes. With his in-ring skill, yes.
But then, like, I just didn't think they did much with him. Like, he always viewed him as a guy, like, he's great in the ring, but he can only, like, basically how Ricochet was used for a while. Yep. Like, great in the ring, but he's not going to win matches, but he can put someone over.
Exactly.
I feel like that's how Vince viewed Andrade. Like how WWE always viewed him.
Yeah, I totally agree. But where was I? Dupree bragged about beating Becky 3 times and said that she would give Lynch a rematch anytime, any place. Dupree fired up and said that she would stop at nothing to beat her again. She would train until she bled, sweat, and her tears were on the mat. She said, quote, "Not only am I the Intercontinental Champion, I'm your Intercontinental Champion." Dupree wanted Lynch to admit that. She knew Lynch wouldn't take it on the chin like a man that she says she is. In this moment, Lynch didn't look like the greatest of all time. Lynch looked like someone who was afraid to get beat and that her best years were behind her. Lynch then decked Dupree with a sucker punch and held up the IC title. Lynch was about to leave, but when she went to leave, she was attacked by Dupree. Dupree put her in an ankle lock and Lynch tapped out. Dupree let go and Becky bailed. I thought this was a better segment for Dupree. Maxine looked better than normal in these kind of things. So I thought it was effective. What'd you think?
I thought it was effective. I mean, who do you think takes the belt off of Maxine? Because I don't think it's Becky.
You don't? Oh, I thought maybe Becky gets it back. I don't know. I thought Becky would be the one to just take it back. And they can do the whole, it was a fluke.
I really want Roxanne Perez to win that IC title, though.
I mean, that's not a bad decision. That's a good one, for sure.
I mean, the IC title would be a perfect first title for her to win on the main roster. Besides she already won the tag titles, but
yeah,
that'd be a good first singles title for her to win,
right?
Because she's young, she's gonna be in WWE for a while.
Oh yeah,
and I think that. That's like a perfect first title for her to win. Especially how they were using the women's Intercontinental Championship compared to the women's United States title, because I totally forgot about that belt.
Oh boy, yeah, no, way different.
Because I totally forgot Chelsea Green's the champion.
Yep.
But how they're using the women's IC title, they're making that belt very important right now.
100%. Now, is this where I missed the Adam Pearce Javon segment? Because I saw Adam Pearce and Stephanie Vakir.
So apparently the Adam Pearce and Javon segment, they were just talking. He was just basically saying, "Good luck. I know you won't need it, and if you win, then we can talk more about your future." After the match. So basically, they're teasing that he could get signed to Raw here pretty soon.
I think that's the route they go, especially if Trick goes to SmackDown. I think that's where they're going to go because Lash Legends is already on SmackDown. They're engaged. They like to keep, married couples and engaged couples together in WWE. So I could see Trick going to SmackDown, Javon on Raw. And here's the thing. So Javon won the Iron Survivor and was supposed to get a title match at New Year's Evil. Now my question is, did someone on the main roster go, oh, we want Javon, never mind, you can't use him for New Year's Evil? And so that's why they did the whole thing where they rushed his title match and he lost to Obafemi last week on NXT or whatever, or 2 weeks ago, was it maybe? Maybe that was why they rushed his title match. It was 2 weeks ago. Maybe that's why they rushed his title match instead of waiting till New Year's Evil. Because it all just felt very weird.
Yeah. I mean, I think at this point, you kind of have to put John Evans on the main roster.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of have to at this point because, he already lost so many world title matches in NXT. At
10.
this point, it's 10. And at this point, you're you can't have him challenge for the belt anymore because, nobody's going to take him seriously.
Javon Evans, so I don't know if they're all for the main NXT title, but they said on NXT when he was facing Obafemi 2 weeks ago, they said,
I know one of them was actually for the North American title because I think that was during the Worlds Collide show.
So they said Javon Evans going into the match with Obafemi 2 weeks ago was 0-9 in title matches in NXT. So then losing to Obafemi made it 0-10. Damn. You know why he's probably lost so many title matches? It's the Daniel Bryan effect. They think if we keep beating them and beating them and beating them, it's going to get them over to this rock star status.
Daniel Bryan?
Yes, and it only worked with one guy, Daniel Bryan. It slightly kind of maybe sort of worked with Sami Zayn, but still not even to the level of Daniel Bryan.
No, I remember the Daniel Bryan stuff. Originally, he wasn't even supposed to win the belt at Mania. Originally, it was supposed to be Batista being the big Hollywood star trying to win the world title.
Well, the whole thing got shifted up. So it was supposed to be CM Punk and Triple H. And CM Punk told Triple H he was stupid for not seeing that Daniel Bryan was the hottest wrestler in the company and he should be the one, getting the big push at WrestleMania. And then everything happened with him leaving and that's when they switched all the plans to Bryan. But yeah, originally it was supposed to be, and I don't know if Punk was ever going to get, I don't know, and we may never know.
It was probably, I'm sorry, but I'm assuming it was probably just Batista win the belt at Mania. Then it was probably going to lead to Punk getting a title shot, maybe at SummerSlam.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Do you think Punk and Triple H was going to lead to Punk being added to the main event like they did with Bryan?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Right.
I'm sure. Well, I don't think I would have gone that far. I'm curious what would they done with Daniel Bryan Mania, just him versus Kane.
There was
no. I know he was
no. According to CM Punk, when he first left WWE, there was no plan for Bryan in that year's Mania.
But they were just gonna have him be in the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
I assume, maybe, I don't know. But according to Punk, he said it. I looked right at Triple H and said, "You're dumb for not having this guy in a prominent spot on the card." And yeah, because he said he's the hottest guy in this company. So I don't know.
Maybe that was just a Vince. I don't think that was really Triple H. I think that was more Vince.
Right.
Because Triple H had some say, but I don't think he had all the say.
True. But they ended up going with it. And like I asked, would CM Punk have been added in as a triple threat like we got with Bryan? We don't know because they probably didn't even have a plan that far. And they probably didn't even have the full plan of what Triple H and CM Punk was going to be at Mania that early, coming right out of the Rumble. Maybe they knew we wanted to do the match, but they didn't know if they wanted anything extra with it.
I think, I do remember in CM Punk saying on Colt Cabana's podcast, he said during his last year with the company, he basically just said, I was just tired of working with a bunch of part-timers and losing to them.
Well, didn't he lose to Kevin Nash?
I don't remember that, but
let me see.
He said he lost to Brock. He lost to The Undertaker at Mania. They were going to have him like feud with Triple H. He hated working with Ryback.
Oh, yeah. Most people did.
Good.
So he was supposed to fight Kevin Nash. It was a heavily promoted match in 2011, but due to Nash having injuries and being on blood thinners, Nash was unable to do the match. Instead, it led to Punk feuding with Triple H. That's what it was.
I remember Nash. Because I remember Nash screwed CM Punk out of the world title.
Yeah, give him that powerbomb.
Because Del Rio cashed in on him.
Yep. That was supposed to lead to a CM Punk Kevin Nash program and match. And yeah, and then Nash ended up having his last match in his only ever ladder match against Triple H.
For the hammer. For the sledgehammer. Like,
yep.
For the sledgehammer, really?
He actually spoke about that today on Twitter. That's how I remembered it. Because I saw him tweet about it today because someone else had tweeted about it. And then he was just like, yeah, I was basically told this is my retirement match. They said I'm done. So
why would they do it for the sledgehammer? Just put that above the ring. That makes no sense.
No, it didn't make any sense.
Because I remember watching the highlights as a kid. I was like, really? Because I remember the sledgehammer was always Triple H's thing, and then Kevin Nash used it to beat up Triple H a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, all right, ladder match for the sledgehammer.
Yeah, it was all kinds of weird. I was like, and at that time, because that was what middle 2011-ish, going out of 2011. I was when I was in Iraq, so it's like I was trying to keep up with WWE, but I wasn't able to watch like every week because sometimes we would get enough connection to watch, and sometimes we wouldn't. So it's like I missed certain things during that.
I started watching WWE in like summer of 2012 because I remember all the champions. CM Punk was WWE champion. Sheamus was world champion. Santino Marella was the United States champion.
Yep.
Christian just won the IC title. And the tag champions were Kofi and R-Truth. And the Divas champion was Layla.
Yep.
And the first show I watched on TV was SmackDown. And I can't remember what the main event was. Del Rio versus Randy Orton versus Kane, where the winner would face Sheamus for the world title.
Jeez. That sounds like a CW SmackDown. Or a My Network TV SmackDown.
Because they were on Sci-Fi during that time.
Oh, was it Sci-Fi?
They were on Sci-Fi.
So that was
they were on Sci-Fi.
So that was after My Network TV then, because they went from UPN. UPN then merged with the WB to create CW, and then they went to CW. Then they went to My Network TV, which basically took all of the slots of UPN networks in most markets. So it's kind of like them going back to UPN, and then they went to Sci-Fi.
Yeah, then SmackDown went from Sci-Fi to USA Network.
Yep.
And then they went from USA Network to Fox.
And when they moved to CW is when they started Fridays, when they started doing a Friday Night SmackDown. That was on CW.
I remember that's when they started doing Main Event as well. Main Event was on Ion.
Oh, God. I haven't heard of Ion in forever. And do you remember? You remember
is Ion no longer a thing?
Oh, I have no clue. But do you remember like when they were first advertising Main Event, like the poster was like I remember a poster for Main Event before it actually started was like a split face photo of like Undertaker and Batista. So everyone thought big names were going to be on Main Event every week, and they weren't.
Well, the first Main Event match was CM Punk versus Sheamus, world champion versus world champion.
Right, but like they were pushing like Undertaker and Batista and stuff and all the advertising, and they never did.
Yeah, every match was always just like it was I remember the Main Event. Well, there was one Main Event match for like the United States title, Cesaro versus Great Khali, and everybody thought it was a big deal when Cesaro picked up Great Khali for the neutralizer.
Yep.
But yeah, it wasn't anything special, honestly. Like, no. I thought it was cool as a because I remember watching it like before I'd go to bed on school nights. Because I was like, hey, it's wrestling. Oh yeah, and also, do you remember? This was also a nothing show that they did. Remember Saturday Morning Slam?
Yes. That was a CW thing.
The only thing I remember from Saturday Morning Slam was Sheamus versus Michael McGillicuddy. They
Damn.
did that whole funny match where Sheamus like, I want to fight the baddest, toughest wrestler out tonight, but he's not available. So I got Michael McGillicuddy. I can send you that match.
All right, so the Powerball is up to $1.6 billion, right? I have 2 tickets here. I got 1 number. I don't think that wins me anything. Yeah, nope.
Me and my dad were talking about the Powerball the other day.
I got
Apparently my uncle got me a Powerball ticket for my graduation gift. I don't think it got anything.
nice. Yeah, I got 1 number, 36. Out of 2 tickets, I got 1 number, 36. Was one number get me anything, chat? What does 1 number win in Powerball? Matching only 1 number in Powerball wins a prize only if that single number is a red Powerball itself. No. So then no. I got nothing. There's $4 down. Hey, it's only $4. It's whatever. With the potential of winning 1.6 billion? Never know. So 1.6 billion, the cash out value is 735 million. Like, damn. Anyways, Anna Pierce spoke with Stephanie Vakir. She basically said she wanted both Nikki and Raquel and would take them on in a triple threat match with the Women's Championship on the line next week. Also, Messi says Ion is still on, though it mostly just runs Law and Order and Blue Bloods. So then we had a video package with the Usos, just hyping up that they're getting a tag title shot next week against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. And then this led to Javon Evans versus Rayo Americano. Cole said that, quote, he tried to Wikipedia search Rayo Americano but couldn't find anything, even though a Google search from him takes you right to Pete Dunne results.
You can just tell Pete Dunne looked upset during this.
Right.
You can tell by his facial expressions.
So early on, Evans gets the advantage. He throws Rayo out of the ring, does a big dive to the outside, and they quote unquote go to a break. Rayo brought him back in and hit a top rope arm drag. Evans then fought back with a forearm and a vertical suplex and a springboard clothesline for a 2. Grande Americano distracted the referee while Bravo and Rayo double teamed Evans. Rayo followed with a Michinoku driver for a near fall. Evans avoided Rayo's moonsault attempt and hit an OG cutter to pick up the victory. So there we go. Javon Evans does get the win, but then El Grande Americano and Bravo tried to attack him. He fought them off, jumped out of the ring, looked back at him and smiled, and there we go. I think they didn't state it, but I think he's going to fight Bravo next week or coming up, which is then going to lead to him beating Bravo and then having the big match with El Grande Americano. It was a fine, we get 7 minutes or so on television. It was fine. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, it was an okay match. What do you think? When's Chad Gable supposed to be back?
I don't know when, but I know last month he was training at the PC. But I don't know if that was a, hey, you're cleared, go train, or if it was a, hey, we're going to test you out in the ring to get you cleared. We don't know. We just know that he was at the PC in a ring doing some stuff, which is a good sign. So, hey, the more wins you can give Evans right now just to prop him up, the better. Especially with the whole pending soon-to-be free agent thing. Get him a bunch of wins, get the crowd behind him, and go from there. Kathy Kelly interviewed AJ Styles and Dragon Lee about facing Jimmy and Jay next week. She said they say something about them being the longer tag team, but they may have been a tag team longer, but they've been working together more frequently recently. Styles and Lee said they're not worried, and they've already beat big established tag teams like the Judgment Day and the New Day. Styles said that having the titles meant that they were better than the rest. Then they got a pre-tape Braun Breaker promo. Breaker basically said that Punk thought that they had a personal vendetta because of the barbs that he mentioned about families. But the reality was that Punk didn't care about his wife. He never cared about anyone but himself. Breaker wondered which version of Punk would show up on January 5th, the watered-down 2025 version or the best in the world version. Either way, the result's going to be the same. Breaker was going to mount Punk, was going to be a mountain that Punk couldn't climb, and the dog he couldn't outrun. In Punk's words, he was only here to make money. Breaker hope Punk saved his money because after he beats him, he ain't going to be worth $1. I thought this was freaking great. I love this promo from Braun Breaker. What'd you think?
Oh yeah, this was a great promo. I think their Breaker versus Punk is going to be awesome. Did you hear me?
Yeah. Ooh, we got 2.5 minutes left in this game, and the 49ers are killing the Colts. Hell yeah.
Jeez.
Well, I mean,
cool. Are they starting Phillip Rivers?
Yes, they are. They're starting Grandpa.
Oh, no wonder why they're getting killed.
Also, if 49ers win tonight, basically they're going to lock up, not fully lock it up, but basically they're going to win number one. They're going to be number one seed. So moving forward, Nikki Bella shows up. Weird. Because like Nikki Bella's just wearing kind of different clothes than normal. But like we saw a picture of her from these tapings on Friday, and everyone's like, Nikki Bella debuts a new look. No, she put her fucking hair up in a bun. Like what? Her hair was just up. Like some people try to get clicks for clicks. The announcers were talking when she interrupted them. She called herself, quote, the most famous person. She reminded the fans she was Nikki Bella, a Hall of Famer and a former champion. She said that they wouldn't know what a champion looked like because they cheered for the Detroit Lions. The Lions wished that they were the Philadelphia Eagles, or better yet, Ohio State. Bella was the star of the division. She destroyed Rodriguez's face, and she would destroy Vakir's reign. Vakir was a big deal in the ring, but Bella was a big deal everywhere. It was about time that the title was around the waist of a true global superstar. Did you see Raquel's freaking face, her forehead, after Nikki threw her into the steps?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God. Big old hematoma on her forehead. That thing was like a golf ball. Huge. Huge. But yeah, this is a so-so, whatever, basic Nikki Bella promo. Nothing special. We do have a bit donation from Muscle Man. He says, who's your guys' most forgettable Royal Rumble winner? Oh, man.
Can I answer that?
Go for it.
Sheamus.
Really? A 40-man Rumble?
Think about it. No, Sheamus was 2012.
Oh, never mind. I always get that mixed up. That was on draw.
No,
that
think
was,
about it.
The 40-man was
Del Rio.
Del Rio. Yeah, I always flip those for some reason.
No, because the reason why? Think about it. They already knew the main event was going to be Cena versus Rock that year. So They kind of just felt like whoever was going to win it, it didn't really matter. And when he faced Daniel Bryan at Mania that year, that only lasts like 17 seconds.
Yeah. I mean,
so that's pretty forgettable.
I mean, if you want to really say forgettable, though, didn't Hacksaw Jim Duggan technically win the first Rumble that no one remembers?
Maybe they mean like forgettable, like recent memory, but
well, just overall. But yeah,
like I don't remember the Royal Rumbles from the 90s.
So it wasn't even the 90s. So the first ever Royal Rumble was not on a pay-per-view. It was just at a random show in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. I mean, it was technically a Royal Rumble. So the first Royal Rumble event, I guess you would like to. So I'm looking here now. Yeah, the first two Royal Rumbles, the 88 and the 89 Rumbles. First one was in Canada. It was won by Jim Duggan. The second one was in Texas, Houston, Texas, won by Big John Studd. And that's when the Rumbles didn't matter for anything. There was nothing on the line, no title shot, no nothing. They were just for the hell of it. Then in 90 and 91, is when Hogan won them back to back with the WWE Championship on the line. Then in 92, Flair won with a title on the line. That's probably one of the more famous ones is the 92 Rumble.
What about when, Del Rio winning was pretty forgettable because he lost to Edge at Mania that year.
Yeah.
What was another forgettable one?
I'm looking. I mean, we go greatest Royal Rumble, Braun Strowman. Does that count?
I guess so. I mean, that was a nothing Rumble anyway. That was mainly just Saudi Arabia liked the Royal Rumble. So Vince was like, well, I'll give you the greatest Royal Rumble.
Well, then you also had Edge won the Thunderdome Rumble.
I wouldn't say that was forgettable. I feel like people knew whoever was going to win that Rumble, they were going to lose. They were going to lose at Mania anyway.
I mean, if you ask most people when did Edge win the Rumble, they're probably only going to remember 2010 though.
True. Well, he lost at Mania both after winning both Rumbles though. He lost to Jericho, and he lost to Roman at Mania.
Yeah. I'm just looking.
I keep forgetting about a lot of those 2010 Mania matches. Because I was looking back at that. I forgot Sheamus faced Triple H at Mania that year.
Yeah. That's one that you don't remember. That's a match you forget.
Yeah, Triple H versus Sheamus at Mania.
Yep.
I mean, the only match I remember was I remember them doing Batista versus Cena for the WWE Championship, and they did. And the main event that year was Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, like streak versus career.
Yep, 26. So this then led us to Bayley versus Roxanne Perez. Not a bad match. Like I thought they worked well together. But this was more of just a, hey, there's dissension in the Judgment Day. That's what this match really was. To set up more dissension with the women in the Judgment Day. So it's like, yeah, Bayley and Lyra were out there, but they were more just pawns in the real story, I guess you would say. So Perez worked over Bayley's knee early and threw a break until Bayley made a comeback. Rodriguez appeared at ringside, not coming down with Roxanne at first, only Liv did. But then she eventually showed up. She was able to slide into the ring, but Valkyria took her out with a spinning kick to stop her from interfering. Morgan then responded by chucking Valkyria over the announce desk. Perez distracted the referee while Morgan tripped up Bayley. Perez then used the distraction to drop Bayley face first on an exposed buckle. But the idiot referee, as Bayley would say, was distracted by Rodriguez on the apron. Valkyria wiped out Rodriguez and Morgan after Liv actually pulled Raquel off the apron, saying, "What are you doing? You're screwing Roxanne." And so then Lyra jumps off the announce table, gives them both a crossbody. Valkyria psyched up Bayley by slapping her in the face. Bayley hulked up like Hulk Hogan, fired up, brother. And then she hammered away at Perez before hitting a flying elbow drop and picking up the victory. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Wasn't bad. Like they worked well together, but a lot going on. And what we saw was like 6.5, 7 minutes. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, I don't know what else it's going to lead to, but
right. I think it's leading to possibly maybe Raquel getting kicked out of Judgment Day.
You think she's getting kicked out?
There's a chance. Good chance.
Or what if they kick Liv out? They kick Liv and Dominic out.
I think Raquel's turning babyface.
Honestly, I feel like the Judgment Day kind of reaches peak at this point.
Yeah, we got a little more Judgment Day here in a moment. So we go to the locker room. Reed told Theory that he was in the big leagues now and to follow his lead, kid. Theory told him, "I'm not a kid." Theory said that he was going to start the match and Reed would follow his lead. We then go to the Judgment Day clubhouse. We see Dom and Finn are there playing video games when all of a sudden we hear a bunch of commotion, and it's Raquel, it's Liv, and it's Roxanne arguing. Raquel was pissed off because she had a world title match to prepare for, and she's like, I was just there trying to help you guys, unlike you guys who didn't help me in my match last week when Nikki Bella came down. and she was all kinds of mad and stuff. And Finn tried to calm the situation, and yeah, just a bunch of stuff, I guess you would say. Then we got, well, greatest heel in the game today, Gunther. Gunther makes his way down to the ring, heavy boos from the crowd. He took his time, soaking in, basking in the heat. He said the fans shouldn't be mad at him. They should be mad at the guy who tapped out like a little bitch. But they actually bleeped or muted when he said bitch, unlike last week. Punk then marched down to the ring with his music and quickly got in the ring and in Gunther's face. The fans loudly chanted for Punk. Gunther laughed in his face before leaving, and Gunther gave him one quick you can't see me gesture. As Gunther was walking up the ramp to the back, Rey Mysterio would come out and they would go face to face as well. Rey had a very disappointed look on his face and put his hands on his hips and shook his head. Gunther looked down at Rey and laughed. We go to the back. Styles confronted Gunther, and Styles asked Gunther, you know when to shut up? And Gunther goes, I guess I don't, and laughed and walked off. Gunther is such a great heel. He is so good.
Oh yeah, they're basically trying to make this man a new legend killer, trying to retire all the legends.
So,
I think they'll probably just have him retire AJ Styles next.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't call him the legend killer because that's the Randy Orton thing. You don't want to jump on that and whatever. I'd call him the career killer.
Maybe they're making him like the modern day like legend killer almost.
That's what I would say. Call him the career killer.
Who were the careers that Randy Orton kind of like ended
Foley?
Like back in the day?
The one I could think of, because in 2004 he had a big feud with Mick Foley, which led to Rock coming back for Mania 20 when it was the handicap match, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, and Batista versus Rock and Sock Connection. Then that led to the no disqualification match at Backlash with Mick Foley and Randy Orton, where they used the barbed wire bat, and it was the first time Randy did thumbtacks and all that kind of stuff. So like that was the one, like Randy's whole thing of the legend killer was not more ending legends' careers. It was like, oh, a legend would be on a show and I'll give him a big RKO and knock him out. But like the one where he like actually feuded with a legend that I can remember, and chat, let me know if I'm missing somebody, but it was Mick Foley was the big one. That was the big one they used to get Randy over, which then led to Randy becoming number one contender and beating Benoit at SummerSlam for the world title.
And is that when they had Evolution turn on him?
Yeah. He won the world title at SummerSlam. The next night, Evolution was celebrating with him. They put him up on Batista's shoulders, and that's when Triple H went thumbs down. Batista gave him the big electric chair, and they beat his ass. Triple H took the title from him.
And then didn't they do like a big Survivor Series match as well, where they had Benoit team with Randy?
I believe so. I don't remember that for sure, but that sounds right. Because remember, Randy went on this run where he was always the sole survivor of his team. He never lost the Survivor Series.
Then they had him lose to Dolph Ziggler in 2012.
Yep.
Dolph Ziggler was like this huge star like during the early 2010s.
That's
WWE.
That's one that Vince never capitalized on that he should have. That was one that Vince overlooked and should have, because there were times when he was getting some of the biggest pops, that bigger than anybody. There was times when Ziggler would get a better reaction than Cena.
Well, Ziggler was world champion.
I'm talking like before that. I'm talking like before that, like before winning Money in the Bank and all that. There were times when he was like getting one of the biggest reactions of anybody in the company.
Yeah. I remember like him saying like in an interview, they're like, yeah, Vince never wanted to like put the world title on me. They were like, they had a match with him. It was him versus Punk at the Royal Rumble for the world title.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you're not winning that. There's another match, you're not winning that. They said Money in the Bank. When he was in that Money in the Bank match, they're like, it's either gonna be you or it's gonna be Cody.
Yep.
And then when he won the briefcase, like I think they told him that he was gonna have like a failed cash in.
I think so.
And then he ended up cashing in successful.
So this then leads us to our main event. CM Punk and Rey
Sorry,
Mysterio.
I just
Go
want to
for
cut
it.
you off
Go
one
for
more
it.
time
Yeah.
because I remember hearing in 2 interviews that they were going to put the Money in the Bank briefcase on Cody, like at some point, and it
Well,
never happened.
so
I remember Brian Danielson saying in an interview, like when he won the briefcase, he was like, "Well, for the Raw Money in the Bank match, like people in creative knew they wanted Del Rio winning
yeah.
that one, and then for the SmackDown one, they were like, it's either between Cody or Wade Barrett, and they realized, well, we don't want 2 heels winning,
Yep.
so let's just put it on Daniel Bryan and just go from there."
He said that in the Chris Van Vliet interview last month. No, but Cody had been, in the mix, in the conversation, like 3 different times. The Daniel Bryan won that year. Then the year Sandow won and the year Ziggler won. All those years, it was like, maybe we give it to Cody. Maybe we wait. We'll go someone else. Every time.
Then they gave it to Sandow over freaking Cody.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it did help Cody become a babyface.
And then he had didn't he have like the bronze briefcase or whatever, Sandow?
Yeah, Sandow had the bronze briefcase and he had a failed cash in, which we all knew he was gonna have a failed cash in.
Oh yeah.
But to be fair, that did help Cody like become a big babyface during that time because they had to do that feud with the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of helped him a bit.
Yeah.
In a way.
As far as this match does go, CM Punk and Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory and Bronson Reed. The Division got the heat on Punk early on as Theory used his offense to keep Punk down in a rest hold after a break. Reed then took his turn next until Punk rolled out of the way of a senton and made the hot tag to Rey, who knocked Theory off the apron. Reed tried to squish Rey, but Rey avoided it and hit a running seated senton off the ropes. Theory would tag in, and Rey got rid of him with a Hurricane Rana and a seated senton off the barricade. Working Rey over a little more, Theory kept him down as Cole asked Graves what looked different about Theory tonight. Graves said he looked more focused. Besides that, his hair and pants are different as well. Rey hit Theory with the Bulldog and made the hot tag to Punk, who hit Theory with punches and a neck breaker, corner strikes, and Bulldog. Theory avoided a GTS and tagged in Reed, but Punk fended him off with the flying clothesline. He got a 2 off of it. As we come down towards the end of the match, Rey tagged in and set up for a 619 on Reed, but Theory made the blind tag and leveled Rey with a running clothesline. Reed then fought him off and hit a 619 and a springboard splash. Rey had the match won, but Reed yanked the referee out to break the cover. Punk then hit Reed with a suicide dive and clotheslined him over the barricade. With all of this going on, Rey went to the top rope. Theory tripped him up, hit him with a curb stomp, and pinned him to pick up the victory. So Austin Theory beats Rey Mysterio. Before we get into the post-match stuff, what did you think of the match? I thought it was a fine, decent main event. They all worked well together.
Yeah, they did all work well together. I feel like they only had Rey in this match probably just like take the pin, I think.
Yeah, they don't want to pin Punk before the big title match on January 5th.
Yeah.
So speaking of
Punk, I feel bad for Rey. They're basically just using him at the point where which I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's not really going to hurt Rey whatsoever, but he's just there kind of just like put everybody else over.
Rey got the big win and pinned Dominic at the AAA show on Saturday, though.
Yeah.
Which technically was supposed to be Penta, because Penta was supposed to... The plan apparently was Penta pinning Dom and then getting a shot at the AAA title. But Penta's injured and couldn't be in the match, even though he interfered in the match. Anyways.
When's Santos going to be back?
Oh, I have no clue.
Because wasn't the original plan was they were going to put the AAA title on Santos and have the tag titles be on Legado?
Well, Legado had the tag titles at one point, and then they lost them to the Clowns.
Yeah, I think because I saw somewhere the original plan was to have Legados with the tag titles and Santos with the AAA title.
I had read that before too, yeah. But that was like when all the AAA stuff was first starting. They had that idea. And then they saw how over Dom got and goes, oh, no, never mind. Dom's our big Mexican star, and he's young, and we can push him forever in AAA. It's wild the babyface reaction Dominic gets in Mexico. It's mind-boggling, outrageous. Like,
Yeah.
they see Dom as a goddamn legend of lucha libre. Basically, it's mind-blowing. Like I said, I don't know how to explain it. It's that just wow. So after the match, Punk chased Theory out of the ring. Breaker then tried to sneak attack, but Punk was distracted, but Punk fought him off. Punk then fought off Theory again, and that distraction allowed Breaker to nail him with a spear as the show went off the air. We're just a couple of weeks away from the big title match on January 5th. What do we got? 2 more? That's in 2 weeks? Yeah. So next week, we got a live show. And then the 5th is that big Netflix anniversary show from the Barclays Center. Overall, not a bad Raw. I thought it was a very good, super easy to watch show because it flew by with no commercials.
Oh yeah, this flew by really well without commercials.
Yeah. So with all of that, let's check the polls before we wrap this up. As far as the Threads poll does go, 58% liked the show, 32% thought it was just all right, and 11% didn't like it. Looking at the, let's see, Twitter poll, 60% liked the show, 26% thought it was just all right, and 13% didn't like it. And looking at the community poll, 72% liked the show, 17% thought it was just all right, and 10% didn't like it. And then finally, the live poll, 76% liked the show, 19% thought it was just all right, and 5% didn't like it. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. But Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at PetGamersStore21. And you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke.
With that, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your week. I don't know if we're going to be live on Wednesday, not New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve. But if we do, we'll be talking Dynamite and playing some games and whatnot. Probably do more Spider-Man. So we'll play it by ear if we're live on Wednesday following Dynamite, or during Dynamite, actually. So have a great week. If we don't see you live before then, Merry Christmas. We'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.